And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Clevr, and today I've got some interesting things to talk about. Number one, I wanted to show off some of the sketchers that Shazam Blast is doing for the channel. I'm very grateful that she's willing to do this and help us out, and I'm going to leave a link down in the description. She does do commissions, so if you'd like any custom artwork made for your channel or just cool stuff for you to have, she can make it. You can make it a wallpaper on your phone, you can put it on your computer, you can use little emotes and send them to people. It's really cool, it's really fun, it's really funny. So check down the description below if you're interested in any of that. Check out her YouTube. She is on Twitch. She does a bunch of cool stuff. So if you're interested in art and that kind of stuff, by all means, give her a look. Again, that's Shazam Blast. Really, really awesome artist. So, now that you've seen some of my sketches, those are just the preliminary sketches. Those are going to be turned into full art pieces that I'm going to be using on multiple videos for the thumbnails, maybe thrown about. We'll see where it goes. I think it'll be really cool. I've got some ideas. I'm making some channel art as we speak. Well, not literally. I'm figuratively. I'm working on it. Probably as you watch this video, I'm probably working on the channel art. Or I'm sleeping, or pooping, or eating, or working. Those are really all I do these days. Now, aside from that, I actually got to talk to a graduating video editing class. Now, probably a few weeks ago, I talked about one of my teachers in an Undertale video. He was my high school video production teacher, and I actually met up with him, and we were looking through some of the old videos that we made, and it was really kind of funny. And then it was in between his lunch and the next class, and he goes, "You should come in and talk to these kids because you make videos and you do this and that and you've done this and that." And I brought up some of the old videos that I was a part of, and I talked to this class, and I wasn't being like a high horse or anything about it, who am I? The videos I've made haven't been like, outrageously popular, and like some of the stuff I've made on this channel is pretty cool. I like it, but again, a lot of these kids are going to surpass me as far as being an outstanding editor and, having a visionary's eye as it comes to video production. So I tried to keep that in mind as I was talking to them, but I asked if there's any questions, and I got a good one. The question was, and I wrote down some stuff, and this is what I told the class. I had to write it down so that I could, visualize and conceptualize it for this video. What is the hardest part about video making? Oh, you remember how I was talking about splitting right down the middle, not giving you too much, not giving you anything? I could sit here and I could tell you that editing or learning the ins and outs of the camera, the hardware and software and the lighting and all that jazz is the hardest part of making a video, but I'd kind of be doing everyone a disservice that is really interested in doing YouTube or doing videos outside of YouTube, or working in the field of video production. I'd be doing a disservice, because the hardest part of video making is translating your vision into a finished product. The way I conceptualize this to people is, think about the great painters of the world, the great musicians. For most of us, we can't imagine drawing a tree well, or playing Twinkle Twinkle Little Star on a flutophone. And yet, there are people out there that go out and they see music in everything they do. They see art in everything they see. They can go out, and I knew I wasn't an artist because when I went to draw a hand, I could never get it right. I could never get it right. Instead, what I decided to do was I decided to make those little paws, like the little circle paws that like have lines through them. That's how I drew people's hands, and that's to this day how I will draw people's hands forever. I cannot draw a hand. It's not a physical possibility. It's not. I see it. I see the lines in my head. I just cannot translate it to the paper. And in a lot of ways, that is video making, because there are people in this world who can compose symphonies, paint lifelike pictures that blow everyone's minds. It's a knack and a learned skill. So you need some type of natural vision and creativity and openness as a starting point. And then it takes work and lots of it. Because as a video maker, we all see something in our heads before we even start thinking about the video itself. We have an idea. And then we go over it in our heads over and over until the core components strike a feeling of, yes, that's what I want to make. And I can't tell you how many videos I've had an idea for that just don't ever see the cutting board because I can't imagine the knife chopping them, if that's a good analogy. It's probably a sucky analogy, but that's the one that came to mind. It's really kind of challenging to explain, but I get ideas all the time for like, oh, that would make for a cool video. And then I'm like, but would people want to watch this? Is this original? Is this blah, blah, blah? And I go through in my head, and then eventually I'm like, I'm not even going to start scripting it out because it's just not going to work no matter what I do with X and Y. It's Z is going to be over here, and it doesn't make for a good video. After the idea, when I actually get a set idea for a video, I script out every single video and I plan it down to the amount of time I'm willing to allow for each scene. Now, you guys haven't seen this process all that much on this channel, but for like the fake Undertale video, that part's kind of scripted. For the top 5s, that's scripted. My Let's Plays aren't necessarily scripted. I have like an internal clock going where I don't want to go over a certain amount of time and I don't want to be under a certain amount of time usually, but that just kind of is what it is. As far as when I'm doing like an actual video, when I'm doing something that's going to be seen with actors and live action, that I script out in totality. There's a lot of stuff that goes into it, and you guys will see that when I get into the live action stuff, which, as I've been saying for like months, is coming soon. You'll see more of my artistic and creative side, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But yeah, I script every video out, and then the whole process is really organic and open to change. And I feel like that's important. If you're not open to change, if you're stubborn to one ideal, it can end up ruining a shoot, because sometimes the actors you get, even if they're really good actors, they can't play a part the way that you have it in your head, or a scene can't go exactly as you want it in your head. So if you reshoot something 100 times to get exactly what you want to be, sometimes it just, you end up losing a lot in doing that. Sometimes the first take is the best take, and sometimes happy mistakes are happy mistakes. They end up working for you instead of derailing you, which, when you're doing video making for the first time, when someone makes a mistake and something doesn't go the right way, your first instinct is like panic mode. No, it can't be that. It has to be changed. It has to be what was in here. You gotta be willing to say, you know what? Mistakes happen in real life. Maybe Mr. Jones knocks over his cup of coffee, and then maybe the actor goes along with it in the scene. Maybe you didn't have that written in the script, but maybe it works. Maybe maybe the camera goes out of focus for a second and then comes back and it's perfect, but you didn't want that in that scene. You got to be open to mistakes, and you got to be open to understanding the changes and nuances of video making. You got to be open to making errors, because you will make a lot of mistakes in this business. You're not going to be perfect. The best directors in the world make plenty of mistakes on movies, of which they have budgets of millions of dollars and years to make sometimes. So if you're trying to be a one-man show and you're doing the editing and you're doing the acting and you're doing the recording and you have an audio guy that you handpicked and all this stuff, there's going to be mistakes made. And you have to learn to roll with the punches and to adapt your ideals and not get stuck in your ways, because that's the most dangerous part of video making, in my opinion. It's important to stay true to your work, because if you don't care about a piece, it will show whether or not you think it will. What I mean by this is you can't fake it. You really can't fake it. If you're trying to make a funny video and your heart's not in it, it's not going to be funny. It's just not. People are going to see right through it. If you're trying to make a drama or something, and you're just not into it, it's not something you really wanted to do, you're not giving it your all, you're not inspecting every scene the way you normally would, it's not going to come out good. Trust me, I've seen plenty of movies make the same mistake, where the director just doesn't care. He's getting a paycheck, and then it's over. That's why I feel like you see a lot of people on YouTube, but there's a lot of impassioned efforts here. And it's because we all care about what we're doing, especially like the small channels. We have no real motivation as far as money goes to be doing this. We're doing this because we have a passion for video making, and or our fans that we do have, we like to put out content that they will enjoy. You have to put in real effort, and even then sometimes you'll fail, and I can't tell you how many videos I have. It's in the dozens of finished videos that you will never see because they weren't what I wanted them to be. Whether or not they're Let's Plays, I have a couple vlogs that didn't turn out well that I went through the entire process, but you'll never see them because they don't serve a purpose. They didn't fulfill me creatively. They weren't my best effort, which does happen, believe it or not, even though I'm like the guy boasting, being compassionate and having this effort to the videos. Whatever the reason, I'm going to be honest with myself when I watch back my videos. And that's a hard thing, because think about this for a second. You have to be realistic with yourself about the videos you make, and if you go out there and you're saying, everything I make is gold, well, maybe it's not. Maybe sometimes the stuff you're making just isn't good. And it's a hard thing that, like, shakes your ego, because especially, like, when you think you're good at something, and you're making these videos, and you're just churning them out, and then all of a sudden you watch one of your videos, and, you know, inside your head you're saying this isn't good, but outside you're like, wow, this is my best work yet. Sometimes you gotta take a step back and just really reevaluate and be honest, because if you're not honest with yourself, it's only going to hurt you. It's not going to help you. Over self-confidence is not going to help you. Being confident, yes, but you also have to be honest. This is possibly my best quote I've ever had in my life. The entirety of video making is the sum of its parts, and to that end, it's overly simplified and simply understated, because each part is equally important. I said that first try in front of a class today. Like, improv much? Yeah. Go put that up there, Red. Put that up there. That quote right there. For the rest of the video, keep it up there. Now, what does that mean? Okay? Each part is equally important. You mess up the sound and no one will care about the visuals. Bad acting will kill a great script. A janky cut can completely strip a viewer out of an immersive experience. The hardest part of video making is the entirety of video making, and anyone who tells you different is lying to you. And that is the truth. That is the hard truth of the matter. And I really hope that people that have a passion for video making and people that are looking to get into this field and going to college for it and learning, I hope if you take anything away from this video, understand that each part has to be respected and must be applied in equal force, because there are examples of big-time movies where one thing has rescued a movie from being bad, where all the other pieces were average, but maybe it had a great soundtrack, maybe it had great actors, maybe it had some... But for the most part, if you're doing a independent project, you need to be on point. And if you are not on point, it's a done deal. If you walk out and the audio sounds janky, I can't tell you how many videos I'll immediately shut off. Even if the story's good, even if the video is 4K and just beautiful scenery, I'm not going to watch it if the audio sounds like it was recorded on a toaster. It's just not going to happen. That's part of the reason I went with this microphone. I didn't want to sound echoey. I wanted to sound decent, at least. And I feel like I sound how I do in real life, which is how I wanted to sound for Let's Plays, how I wanted to sound for videos, how I wanted to vlog. So, yeah. If you have a passion for this, you need to give it each part its due diligence. You need to have a passion for it, and you need to make sure that you do not overvalue one thing over another. You need to understand that the sum of its parts is its entirety, okay? The sum of its parts is its entirety. Man, I'm good. I should be a motivational speaker. Someone hire me. I mean, I'll grease your pockets, you know. Yeah, I'll give you this dollar bill. Hey, there's a 20 in there. Wow, I'm rich. I'm gonna be rich. I'm rich. I don't need you. I got $20. I'm gonna go buy pizza. Not really. I'm stuffed. I had food. A lot of food. Yeah. Check out Shazam Blast. And with that, I bid you adieu. A fond farewell until we meet again in the next video. Bye-bye.